Well, it is, as I said, you know, I mean, it's even in football now, you know what players are going to do, but when they get it right, sometimes you just got to hold your hands up. You can't defend against it every time, but as you're just saying there, he's big and strong and he just plays a ball. I'm going to have a word with Spencer Pryor because I think he could stick his leg out there to stop that pass going through. Because once Michael gets ahead of me, I ain't catching him. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
He responded pretty well, though, Manchester City in this game.
We did, yeah. I mean, obviously we're a big team, and you know, we had people on the ball likes of Mark Kennedy, you know, ex-Liverpool player, and obviously we had Kevin Horlock as well, who could deliver a great ball. So we used to cause problems for teams from, you know, set players like this. Probably he's not the best defenders, but I think it's Paul Dickoff there, who was I still see Dickie now, and I call him the Wasp, because you know, when a wasp is flying around you, it's a pain. You know, you just want to kind of swat it, and obviously he's just on the half turn now, and it just goes over, unfortunately.
And another scramble hit. I mean, the long throw was a big part of your game at this stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Kev Horlock or Spencer Pryor there with with the throw. And I think a lot of stuff as well, and people don't seem to realise how good and strong and powerful Paulo One-Chop was. It's just off the line now, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were a physical team, did he, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and obviously in Horlock, in Jeff Whitley, they had Haaland, they had teams in the middle of the park as well who would stick their boot in. So you always knew when you play against them, it'll be tough. And, you know, these throws are just hard to defend. And we had some big lads as well, Enrico Bertsong, Marcus Babbel, Hipia Oncho, they're all good in the air. But when the ball comes in as this throw-in, it comes out the clouds, it's very hard to defend. And once it bounces, yeah, it's anyone's ball. And we were very fortunate again that Westerveld makes a save.
Yeah, I think one of our strengths is we were physical, and I think we had to make sure that we actually put that across, because we didn't want teams. If you let Liverpool play as well as other teams, they're going to beat you, and they're going to beat you quite badly. So we had to make sure that we were aggressive.
Now watch this from Steve Harry coming up.
See, I barely touched him. Barely touched him. As I said, he's a big, strong boy. I can't believe. I think it's the assistant, the linesman gives it. This is why I'm puzzled. I never even touched him. As I mentioned earlier on, Emil's a big, strong boy. Hopefully, we'll see a replay. It's just shoulder to shoulder. Can't believe he's given a free kick for that.
Here's your replay.
Just easing him out. Just easing him out. Free kick. Scandalous decision.
That's what he did to defenders, did he? As you said, I mean, it was in their mind.
No, he was, and it was hard to stop. And obviously, Steve is right. You know, this is probably not a free kick because Nicky Weaver is picking the ball up quite easily there. But he was just a handful. You could never relax with Emil, because he could hurt you at any given time, because he had the body. He was good in the air, and he was very quick as well. So it was really the full package. And you know, in modern day football, we talk about centre forwards now. I don't think we've got a handful. And Emil was, you know, one of probably 10 or 15 or 20 top class strikers at the time. And for some reason, we don't seem to make him anymore. I don't want to know what he's worth in today's market, because, you know, you look at Osimhen, he's probably, you can compare it to him. He's a powerful runner as well, good finisher. You know, people were talking about him being 100, 120, 150 million pound player. Kolomani went for over 100, I think, to Paris. I think Emil is or was in the same category.
That was Mr. Howie sliding in like a centre forward there.
Oh, I was a goal poacher back in the day. But I think it was a decent challenge. Was it Henshaw who made the challenge there? Because I think that could have gone in.
Yeah, it was a very underrated player as well.
He was an underrated player, but as I said, Liverpool, this is what they were good at. Yes, they had, you know, good players all around the pitch, but because you had the physicality of Emil, but you had the terrifying thing of pace, because pace is, you know, sometimes you just can't defend against it. They could break very, very quickly.
That was Marcus Babbel, did he, with a decent chance?
Yeah, he had a brilliant season. I think he played. I think we ended up playing, I think, 63 games in that season because we played every single game. Because we obviously won all the cup competition we entered. And I think he played every single game, Marcus, and he was just steady. He always did his job, didn't give much away at the back, nicked a couple of important goals. And we were just solid. Our defence was really what made us. Because Sami Hyypiä was signed, came from Holland, 2.5 million, Honshu from Blackburn. And these two guys were just outstanding defenders. They loved to defend. And, Stefan made that block before against Steve. That's what he did. Very underrated player, great on the ball as well. And it gave us a good base to give Stevie, to give Emil and Michael a license to go forward.
Well, it was Michael Owen's goal that was the difference in this game at half-time. Manchester City was still in it, though. Liverpool led at half-time.
Joe was good. I mean, obviously, there was Willie Donaghy as well. But we hadn't performed that badly in the first half. And, just kind of speaking, it was one of these where we just thought, keep at it. If we get a goal, then, we're certainly back in the game. But we still felt as though we were back in the game. We just had to try and keep it tight and see if we can catch them on the break or from a set play.
Yeah, because they caused you issues in that first half, didn't they? You must have been wary of that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think we've been very fortunate going a 1-0 at half-time, because if you look at the chances in the first half, a few scrambles in the 6-yard box, all the chances were City's, really. And apart from the goal, we didn't really threaten Nicky Weaver's goal. So, we knew that we need a second goal. The quicker, the better. But we were well aware that, the game is far from finished.
Was he quite a calm manager, Steve, Joe?
Very. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the one really to shout and scream, and neither was Willie, to be quite honest. And I just think, some managers want to do that, and that's fine. But no, very calm, very collected. You don't have to shout and scream to get your point across, I think, as far as he was concerned, which was right.
There's a young Steven Gerrard already on all the set pieces here, did he? He's only just got in the team.
Yeah, his delivery was second to none. His shooting technique. Obviously, a great cross off the ball, which he showed in the next 10, 15 years in the Premier League. And he could score from anywhere, because he has such a great strike. And, he's one of the few players who could just change a game in a split second. He was so good. The more freedom you gave him, the better he was. And, obviously, he was still very young and only just got in the team. But you can see that he wants to take responsibility, and he had a lot of belief and faith in his own ability.
Is your pal Emil again, Steve?
Well, in all fairness, Liverpool should have been down to 9 men towards the end of this game. I mean, again, Emil does brilliant here. Didn't touch him. I think I've got an arm on his arm, but he goes down. I don't know how my arm touching his arm means his legs give way, but I think that's defenders. See, look at that. That's a sending off offence straight away nowadays.
It is now. Obviously, it wasn't in them days, Steve. It wasn't in them days.
Just wait and we see your tackle. But it's one of them ones where, players are not happy, but it happens. It did then.
It's the Heskey and Owen show again.
Probably should have scored there, you'd have thought, because he gets up so well.
That's obviously when we were dangerous, when the other team had to take a bit of a chance, because Mike was so quick. And I do remember when he first, obviously, when I came to the club, when he was in the team, other teams tended to drop off. And usually in England, in the Premier League, you don't get much time in midfield. But sometimes when you played away from home, you just had time in the middle, because the other team, when we received the ball, there was no pressure. They just dropped off to the 18-yard box because they were so scared of his pace. And when Mike was in the team at his peak, it was just a complete different ball game. That's how good he was.
Wow. So, let's have a look at this. Because Liverpool are knocking on the door here. You can hear the crowd even now.
To be fair, they were due a spell. They were playing at home.
Come on, Diddy. Got to be one of your better ones, did he?
Yeah, well, I didn't score that many, but yeah, it was. I was a bit fortunate. I knew that I had to take it in the air and I had to get my shot off straight away because obviously I had 2 or 3 defenders in the box. And when you see it actually, when it comes down, you know, there's a defender coming out, I kind of have to reach for it. So it's a fortunate strike, really, because I just wanted to hit the target. Had to reach for it. Hence, there wasn't an awful lot of pace on the ball. But it was just so well placed.
Couldn't quite see whose header away that was, actually.
Well, I think you can, to be quite honest. Well, that was the thing. I've had to head it away and try and close them down. So I mean, I wasn't slow, but I'm not that quick. But of course, I mean, obviously, I was fortunate enough to play with Didi, so I know what his qualities are, and I know what he's kind of thinking. And obviously, if he gets that strike on it, I mean, he's just sort of said that he didn't score many goals, but in all fairness, the goals that he did score were top goals, and that was proven there with his ability.
So George Weah comes on, and City's approach doesn't change here, Steve, really, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, we didn't get a great deal out of George, to be fair. I think, I mean, the boys used to laugh because there was like, I'm sure his passport's not telling the right thing because the lack of running that he did. I'm sure he was about 47 when he signed for us. But, you know, great character to have in the dressing room as well. But yeah, I mean, the quality was still there. You wouldn't have done what George had done if the quality wasn't there.
Yeah, let's remind everyone who's perhaps not aware watching this, he was World Footballer of the Year.
Yeah, when I first started with Bayern Munich, I played against him. He was playing up top for PSG with Ginola. And I was a young kid and we played in the Champions League with Bayern Munich. And I've got to say, when I watched these guys play, I thought, this is not my level. I won't be able to share the same pitch as these two guys because Ginola and Weah really put on a show, and he did change the game against Ostet.
Well, he could finish, Steve, as he showed there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that. As I said, he still has that knack. You know, he wasn't going to be running in the channels and stuff like that, but his ability on the ball. And I think if you see the goal here, he just does the defender there because he feints the goal past the defender, just lets the ball run across him, takes a nice little touch. Just that feint there. Touch. It's a good finish. Right in the corner. Difficult one for the goalkeeper. But it brings us back in the game.
Christian Ziegler.
Yeah.
That's his debut, did he?
Yeah, he signed from Middlesbrough. He was brought in as a left back. I said to the manager, he's more of a wing back, and he never really got going at Liverpool. Played a few games, obviously played a part because we played so many games this season. But I don't think he was quite the player the manager thought he bought.
And these set pieces kept coming in.
Yeah, again, just trying to get them in the box. You know, although Liverpool have got a good defence and they've got some big lads in there, as I said, we were aggressive and we were just unfortunate at times that we just didn't get those little nicks and they wouldn't just drop in the goal or, you know, just fall nicely. And I think that was our kind of downfall in the end.
Jimmy Traore.
Yeah.
And as we'll see in a moment, he didn't quite time the next one.
No. Yeah. Alfie. I think that's what you probably call a stonewaller.
He didn't miss too many, Jimmy. He was a great tackler. You know, he was so quick. Once he opened his longer legs, he was electric. But yeah, when he did go down, usually he timed him pretty well. But he was a touch late there.
So this is 9 minutes to go, Steve.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. I think that, again, that probably just summed us up as well. You know, we would probably, you know, a lot of times this season, or that season, you know, we'd done really well against some good teams, good players. And I think that was probably just the naivety of being in the Premier League, you know, just come up. As well as we had some players, we still had a lot of players with good quality that It's the first time in the Premier League. I mean, this lad was underrated for me as well. He had a fantastic left foot. Kevin Horlock, never really in doubt here. Just down the middle. But we're probably thinking at this point, there's a point, a point at Anfield against that team. And certainly that team of individuals, that is a magnificent point.
And that old adage of when you just scored, you're at your most vulnerable.
That's correct. Yeah. But I mean, plenty of pressure on Kev there, in front of the Kop. Keeps his head. Great finish.
Now, did he mention Christian Ziege? But one thing he did have in his locker was that long throw. We've seen it plenty of times from City in this game.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't really use it, Steve, and I think it shows, because if you look on the balance of play, it was probably a fair result at the time, the 2-2. And I'm not even sure whether we used the long throw after this game or whether we've used it before. Obviously, he played his first game. I think he was the one with the longest, or the only one who could throw it long. But we didn't really do that because we always try to find solutions on the deck. And it probably showed a bit of desperation as well, that we said, well, there's 7 or 8 minutes to go. We don't really find any solutions to break him down. Let's just put it in the box, as they did. They got a bit of success out of it, and see what's happening. And unfortunately, it dropped for me. Was probably a bit too much space there in the middle. I don't know. I don't think they defended it too well. But it dropped there, hit it on the drop kick, and obviously, once they hit the target from 10 yards out, it's in.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a defender, being on the other end of being a defender going up for set plays, but both me and Spence go up for it. Obviously, Didi gets away from his man. If you're getting that on target with the pace that he hits it, I don't really care which goalkeeper you've got in there, they're not saving it.
Did well to get Michael Owen out of the way, actually, did he, as well, to have the shot?
Yeah, fortunately I didn't. We needed him.
Now then, that's 3-2 to Gerrard Houlier's side. That's not the end of the talking points. It was getting tastier and tastier, Steve.
Yeah, because obviously we're gutted the fact that we've just conceded with, as you said, 8-9 minutes to go. Thinking that we can hold out. So of course we're under a bit of pressure. We are doing, as I said, we were aggressive, just trying to stick the ball in the back of the net. And can we get something? Unfortunately, as I said, we're having a lot of play inside their box, in and around their box. You can see Liverpool probably defended quite well, but
now then,
at the same time, look at that. I mean, we've seen Emile with his hands around the neck. Now, this player, for me, completely loses his head. Should have been sent off. It should have been 2 yellow cards, easily. It's a shocking challenge, Didi. 2-footed, man.
No, it wasn't.
Have a look at slow-mo. Both. There you go. A double footer.
Don't think I even touched him. Yeah, I didn't.
Because he got out of the way. It's just as well he got out of the way there.
Well, we've just seen again his delivery was just second to none, as I said before. All these balls are right on.
Nothing wrong with that. See, goalkeepers, they get so much protection, you can't even touch them. You couldn't even touch them then, Diaz, let alone now. Nothing wrong with that challenge. It's just an elbow in the face. I mean, dear me, he's got to accept that.
What do you think, Didi? Sander?
Wow. Yeah, well, if it was against us, I'm not too sure. Needs to be given. There's 3-4 people going up. Yeah, he's got his arm out there, but yeah, it was the good old days. I think, yeah, he's got his arm out there, but I think there were games or days where this wasn't given.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because obviously Paolo's putting his arm up, he's protecting himself. Obviously, he catches the goalkeeper as well, but yeah, when it goes against you, you feel hard done by. As Alfie.
Perhaps he didn't have his son's finishing in his jeans, did he?
No. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's just as well he didn't pass that on. Well, clearly he hasn't passed that gene on. It's a little bit rushed. Jeez. I think that's gone to Goodison. Might have got in that goal in there.
He must have told you we're winning 3-2.
I think he was like, and squeeze out.
So obviously Liverpool see it out, did he? And as I said at the top of the show, this was a season the Liverpool fans will always talk about. They still talk about it now.
Yeah, and we grew throughout the season because, as you see here, it was a fortunate win. You know, we didn't have the right to beat City on the day because they probably had more chances than we had. But we had some young players. Jamie Carragher played the full 90 minutes here. Steven Gerrard was only just young, and Michael Owen as well. So we had a young team. We grew throughout the season, and I don't think anybody expected after this game what's going to happen at the end of the season.
No, treble winners for Liverpool. Steve, City, unfortunately, right at the end, got relegated after a defeat at Ipswich. But brilliant memories, great tales. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining me here on another Premier League Rewind.